Oh, I lost everything. All my gigs gone.
Tiffany Haddish seems to have gone broke after Hollywood canceled her, and she is desperate to do some damage control. The Girls Trip star talked to TMZ about the aftermath of her and Spears being accused of having groomed two then minor siblings years ago in a lawsuit originally filed last year in Los Angeles Superior Court. Apparently, the comedian has not been able to land any gigs, and she is in fact broke.
Oh, I lost everything. All my gigs gone.
Really?
Everything gone.
I mean, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is that's a bad look. But now that they changed face,
I
you
don't
feel
know,
like
bro.
you regain your,
I don't have no job.
Tiffany's career has received a huge blow, and Hollywood fans want nothing to do with her. In fact, when it was announced that she would be making an appearance in Girls Trip 2, the producers of the show received a lot of backlash and angry comments from people asking and even signing petitions for her character to be written out of the movie. Now Tiffany does in fact have 2 shows lined up, which are expected to come out this year. But that is only because she worked on them long before this lawsuit. However, sources close to the comedian have disclosed that she's planning to do a lot of damage control before Girls Trip 2 is released. Now, this will definitely not be easy for Haddish, since most of her former fans want nothing to do with her. I don't feel bad for her at all. She did this to be big and famous. Cat Williams even pointed out that Tiffany just popped on scene and blew up, one fan commented. I mean, there's no coming back from this. Like, there's literally no way anyone can make excuses for this. It's sick and unfortunate, a second fan added, while a third fan simply wrote, deserves to be blacklisted. Ouch. Meanwhile, Tiffany's diehard fans are sticking with her to the end. We all make mistakes. Unfortunately, Tiffany made a huge mistake at the beginning of her career. I hope that people forgive her because she's a great actress who still has a lot of potential. I never thought her comedy was that great, but her dramatic roles have been very good, one fan wrote. Hollywood sucks and Tiffany should not have been blacklisted in the first place. This is hurting her career a lot. Whoever is setting her up and lying on her need to leave her alone. I like Tiffany because she has a lot of talent with soul, and to me she's beautiful as always. Black is beautiful, a second fan added, while a third one wrote, I still love her, we all made mistakes. Tiffany Haddish was accused of grooming 2 minors alongside fellow comedian Aries Spears. Tiffany and Aries were sued by a young woman known as Jane Doe, who claimed that Tiffany and Aries forced Jane and her younger brother John Doe to create some very disturbing content. Jane revealed that Tiffany had met their mother when she and John were still kids, and the 2 women bonded over the fact that they were both divorced. They kicked off a friendship and were so close that Tiffany would call them every Christmas and on birthdays. When she got to know that Jane and John both wanted to try their hands at acting and being a friend of the family who was already making a name for herself in Hollywood, she told the kids' mother that she wanted to help them out. Well, Haddish allegedly told their mother that she had helped Jane land a role in a TV commercial, and because the mother trusted her so much, she allowed Jane to go to the shoot unaccompanied. This turned out to be a very big mistake, and there were a lot of red flags about the commercial. The biggest red flag was that Tiffany did not tell Jane or her mother what the commercial was about. So Jane was going in blind. But again, Tiffany was a family friend, and the family trusted that Jane was in safe hands. Well, Jane wasn't physically harmed all right, but she saw and did some things that probably scarred her 14-year-old brain for life. When she arrived at the location for the shoot, she was asked to watch another group of young girls who had already started filming. According to Jane, the girls were having an argument about a hoggy sandwich, and then they started eating the sandwich from opposite ends while making some suggestive sounds as if they were doing, well, you know what. Jane was then asked to repeat what she'd seen, but she was so nervous that she couldn't, which led Tiffany to come into the room, show her how to eat the sandwich while adding in the suggestive sounds, and even adding some hand movements. Still, Jane was unable to repeat it because she was uncomfortable. This made Tiffany mad, and she sent Jane on her way, giving her $100 for her trouble. Jane claims that she didn't tell her mom because she was weirded out. And shortly afterwards, Tiffany reached out to say that they had helped John land a role in a reel for Nickelodeon. Well, turned out to be a big fat lie, because while John did film a reel, it had absolutely nothing to do with Nickelodeon. It was instead posted on a site called Funny or Die. The reel turned out to be so creepy and disturbing that Funny or Die even released a statement distancing themselves from it. They said, Funny or Die found this video absolutely disgusting and would never produce such content. We were not involved in the conceptualization, development funding, or production of this video. It was uploaded to the site as user-generated content and was removed in 2008. Team immediately after becoming aware of its existence. The video had been titled The Mind of a Pea, and this was already a major red flag. John played the role of Tiffany's son, who she dropped off with Aries Spears' character, who was a pea. The entire reel was so creepy because it involved John being in his underwear for the most part, even when it was unnecessary. In the video, Aries can be seen getting into the tub with the boy, rubbing baby oil on John's body, and just generally being strange. Once filming ended, the lawsuit said, John called his mother crying, saying he did not want to film anymore. At the time, Jane was a minor, so she couldn't file a lawsuit, which is why it took so long. After being informed about the lawsuit, Tiffany initially tried to play hardball and released a statement saying, "The plaintiff's mother has been trying to assert these bogus claims against Ms. Haddish for several years. Every attorney who has initially taken her case, and there were several, ultimately dropped the matter once it became clear that the claims were meritless, and Ms. Haddish would not be shaken down." Now, Ms. Morris and her adult daughter representing herself in this lawsuit. The two of them will together face the consequences of pursuing this frivolous action. This highly insensitive statement caused a massive uproar on social media that Tiffany had to release a personal one on Instagram where she said, "I know people have a bunch of questions. I get it. I'm right here with you. Unfortunately, because there's an ongoing legal case, there's very little that I can say right now. But clearly, while this sketch was intended to be comedic, it wasn't funny at all, and I deeply regret having agreed to act in it. I really look forward to being able to share a lot more about the situation as soon as I can." The original complaint against Haddish and Spears accused them of intentional infliction of emotional distress, gross negligence, negligent supervision, breach of fiduciary duty, constructive fraud, sexual battery, sexual harassment, and sexual abuse of a minor. Jane has had a lot of people on her side who've been willing to even call out Tiffany. However, it appears that she's decided to drop the charges. In a statement, she explained her reason for dropping the charges, saying, "My family and I have known Tiffany Haddish for many years, and we now know that she would never harm me or my brother or help anyone else do anything that could harm us." According to a notice of dismissal shared by Haddish's attorneys, the plaintiff asked a federal judge at the U.S. District Court for Central California to dismiss her lawsuit with prejudice, which means it cannot be filed again. Fans have commented on the weird dismissal of the lawsuit, with some even claiming that Haddish and Aries offered the plaintiffs a boatload of money. Too bad the court is not allowed to say the truth. Well, Haddish and Spears gave the plaintiffs a boatload of money, so they took back their complaint. How does the accusers go from accusing them of this terrible crime to saying that Haddish is a friend for many years, and we now know she would never cause any harm to us? We wish her the best. "Just say they paid you to take it back," one fan wrote. Another fan added, "Tiffany and Aries clearly paid the minors. Sometimes money is smart justice." It's hard to know if the plaintiff got paid off, but what we know is that Tiffany's attempt of getting back on the good side of the public will not be easy. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye!